What's up, you fucking marmalutes?
Hey, that's not nice. Okay, so we should probably address a few things. One,
Hey,
I'm
everybody.
going to not say like ever in this podcast from now on forevermore.
And if you do,
I don't know, slap me in the ear lobe.
like.
Um,
Another thing, I have allergies today, so I'm sounding like a sniffly boy.
Sniffly boy.
Also, need to slow down my speaking.
Yeah, just a little bit, I guess. Well, I don't know. When we talk, it's pretty fast.
Yeah, but I was watching.
I pick up my speed when I talk to you because I know you talk fast.
Yeah, you just hear me and my sister. It's like my parents don't even know what we're saying. I was watching a YouTube video the other day. There's like people just gaming. There's like two of them, and one guy was speaking so fast, and I was
Faster
like,
than you?
probably as fast as me, to be honest. And I was like,
this is you hearing it for the first time, being
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, this is how
too
fast."
fast, too fast. Slow down.
We don't talk like that. Sorry, I don't say like that often in regular conversation.
Really?
I think with you, I was trying to keep up with his speed, and I was like, filler word, because you talk.
Straight
Well,
dissing
you
me,
pause
bro.
in between. You'll say like, "Fuck," I just said it. You will say something
Give me that earlobe, boy.
yeah, I give you the.
Give me the earlobe.
It's protected by this, this headphone, because you will say something. When I do this thing, I have to think about this, and it comes like that. You pause in between each sentence.
Because I know I can slow down doing that.
Yeah. But I don't. So I'm trying to like, the fuck.
Two earlobes,
My
boy.
earlobe is gonna be huge, like a Buddha. Reference that Buddha from last time. Okay. Also, last time we spoke about Sonder not being an official word. It's not actually an official word.
You Googled
So I
it.
googled it. Yeah. So Sonder was created by the D, lowercase o, uppercase os, the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, and it's not found in any.
Sorrows.
It's not found in any official dictionary except in some other languages such as French, where it has different meanings.
What does it mean in French?
I didn't Google it. I'm not
Until
French.
next week, guys.
I cannot speak the French.
It's a French word, or it's
As I understand it, it's a word in French. Maybe it's different pronunciation or spelling, but it has a slightly different meaning.
okay.
Yeah, I guess. Google
Well,
part
next
2.
week, yeah.
Darn
Everyone,
it.
stay tuned for next week's Sonder lesson.
Cool. All right.
Hey, guys.
Nice to have you.
We
hear
switched
our
up the
voices.
mics. We got more lights.
Yeah, more lights.
That's pretty much it. New.
Yeah. You know what I wanted to bring up last time that I didn't say? Something that I've been trying to work on more lately.
Not saying like so much.
That's one of them. Is letting go of teaching people.
Yeah.
It's so hard though, because you'll have an interaction with someone and they will make a comment or something, and it's, I almost said the L word, and they'll say something, and you want to say to yourself, I need to teach this person
The right thing.
the right thing, or
the thing that you think is right.
yeah, or like you could have done it this way, and then eventually I just thought to myself, you know what? I don't need to be the one to teach them. They will learn themselves if they're going to learn, and if not, I have to be okay with that and just let go and be like.
There's a moment when we lived together in residence where I felt like you were teaching me a bunch of shit.
Like in a bad way. Fuck. Is that again?
Like they're for the better for sure, but at the moment when you hear someone trying to like teach you or change the way you're doing something, you're kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, a little almost defensive.
Because this is me, and this is just how I've done it. Maybe.
Yeah, just let me live. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop trying to like teach me.
Yeah.
Stop trying to correct me.
A friend of mine is dating this guy, and she was saying that she's working on not doing the same thing, where she would tell this guy how to go about certain situations, and he's like, yo, like this is a lot, this is overwhelming, like I don't need you to always tell me how to do something.
I mean, I guess it comes from a place of caring, because you want them to be better, or I guess do the right thing in your eyes, but it's annoying. You know,
To
I don't want to
be
be
on the
that person
receiving
for
end.
people. I don't want to be that person. I want to let people be as they are, even if it's not
what
I think is the best, or if I think they could be better, or if I think that, hey, this thing could improve your life. I almost would rather just be like, you know, I just want to make people laugh. I want to make people dance.
For sure.
Have good conversation. I don't need to lecture people.
Control the situation.
Yeah, I don't need to control people.
Yeah, I've been noticing that a lot too, where it's like I just kind of let go, Like I try to care as little as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I think about something and I'm like, oh, do I care? And I think about it and it's like, no, I don't. I shouldn't, because it's not me.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
Everything goes
They will
how it
learn,
goes, you know?
They will learn it when they need to.
Yeah.
And if they don't, that's fine. Not everyone learns everything.
I was with this friend. We're cutting peppers one day. I was making dinner, and then they were cutting a pepper. And I was like cutting the pepper, and then they were like cutting the pepper like into their hand, and I was like, for that one, I was kind of like safety. I was like,
you might want to say something.
You shouldn't cut it like that. But other than that, I wouldn't. If it wasn't for safety, I'd probably be like, do your thing.
Safety first. Okay, so I'm talking about food. So there's this guy named David Sinclair. He's an Australian scientist. He studies aging, and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about different ways to promote longevity. And one of them was people shouldn't be eating small meals all throughout the day. Generally, you should have 1 to 2 bigger meals spaced out. And he was saying that periods of fasting is good because it promotes hormesis. Hormesis is this process where your body is basically adapting to stress. One of the stresses being no food, or less food, or periods of time without food. And those adaptive processes, those chemical reactions in your body will promote longevity.
Pretty sick. There's studies showing that you definitely don't need to eat that much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a form of capitalism to make it so you need to have 3 meals a day, make it so you need to snack all day long, where back in the day when we didn't have all this accessibility to this amount of food, is like you just wouldn't eat that much. You don't need to.
I mean, I guess it's kind of a survivability thing. Like, think about like Neanderthals. They would kill a saber-toothed tiger. They probably wouldn't. They probably get killed by the saber-toothed tiger, but they would kill a deer or something.
Yeah.
And then they would have that and they would eat that. But what are the odds you kill a deer every day?
That's what I'm saying.
Once a week, maybe?
And you have to
eat berries and
space
stuff?
it out, scarce it, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, and it's just like more media, because the more that they can sell to you, the more you buy and the more money they make. So it's like, oh, you need breakfast? Make this huge breakfast. And it's like, lunch here, mid-lunch, have this, brunch, have that.
And you know what too? They design and engineer foods to be hyper palatable.
Yeah.
And not satiating. You want to eat more. You can't get enough. It's almost addictive. I mean,
and like
sugar, right?
Food that doesn't fills you up for the moment, but doesn't fill you up in the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How many meals do you eat a day?
It depends. My life's like very busy right now, so it's definitely changing a lot. Probably like, if days that I work, probably 2.
I've been having 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to be, back in high school, I would have so much food. I don't know where I put it, but I would have breakfast.
In your earlobes.
In my earlobes. So slappable. I would, that's what it sounds like. I'd have breakfast. I go to school. I would eat lunch. I would have snacks in between breakfast, lunch, and then lunch, dinner. I'd get home, have like a bowl of cereal or soup, and then I'd have dinner, and then I would also snack throughout the night.
Yeah, but that's also because was this when you're bodybuilding or weightlifting?
No, I didn't really start until second year university.
Oh, interesting. I feel like naturally you do want to eat more when you're, and you should eat more when you're working out and putting on weight, for that reason. That's like if you can eat like a huge meal. Sometimes I just can't eat a huge meal, you know?
Yeah.
Especially in the mornings where it's like, I just woke up and I'm like, maybe I'll just eat like a little bit, you know?
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. So I was talking to Mitch about meal prepping and just how to get more calories in when you're super busy on the go. Smoothies are great for that, but they're also kind of dangerous. So kind of, what do you want to use it for? So smoothies are great because you can get a lot of nutrients in there. Fruits, chia seeds, protein powder, whatever, right? Extra water as well. So you get all these nutrients. However, it could stack up the calories, and think about how easy it is to drink a smoothie in like 5-10 minutes versus eating a banana, some blueberries, a protein shake, a little bit of oatmeal, chia seeds sprinkled on the oatmeal. It's a lot different of a process of consuming that food. So if you do want smoothies, they're great. Use them for a specific purpose. Just be mindful that you are drinking a lot. You could be drinking a lot of calories very easily and not be satiated.
When we talked about this last time too, you mentioned that you want to drink the smoothie, and then once you're done drinking all those calories with the smoothie, your satisfaction for eating something is still there, you know? So you want to eat something, so it's like this whole smoothie plus now you want eggs on the side, and now you want toast on the side. So it's like a lot more calories. So definitely just be careful about how you're using the smoothie. But for me, it's more so smoothie when I'm at work and I have I need to eat something to eat, and it's like I need to just drink these calories because if not I wouldn't get them at all, you know.
If anything, you drinking these calories and still being hungry and eating later is good for you, because think about how many calories you burn at work if you don't eat breakfast that day, or a small breakfast. Like you need people. I think people have very, very different relationships with food. So why do you eat? There's plenty of different reasons I can go over after, but why do you eat?
Because I'm hungry and because I have to. And because I like the taste. I'm a decent cook, so I like to, when I'm in the mode of cooking, I like to go crazy with the cooking.
You're a good cook.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like hard to get into that mode.
Yeah.
But when I'm in that mode and I have like weeks on a span where like I love cooking and I'm like, new recipes, let's try this spice, let's try that. New garden stuff coming in, new harvest. So I'm like, let's cook all that stuff up. Then it's like, I'm eating because I just like love the feeling of doing it and creating great food, you know. So there's 3 reasons.
Yeah, Mitch actually has a garden out back, giant zucchini.
Say I harvest good stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the zucchini was probably like the length of your head. That big?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, something big, crazy.
That's like a leg right there.
We have zucchini parties, so everyone comes over and we cut up the zucchini. We did the other time.
We did, yeah. We had a
cut
barbecue
the zucchini up, and then everyone just eats some barbecued zucchini.
Amazing zucchini.
It's so good.
We digress.
There we go.
So I eat for the same reasons you do. I've thought about this in detail, so words are a little different, but I eat to nourish and I live to eat. So, you know, there's that, do you eat to live or do you live to eat? So some people just eat because like, I have to, so I'm going to do it. I can't not eat, I'm going to die. Other people live to eat. I love food. I live to cook. I do. I'm a bit of that as well. But I also just eat to nourish, because I know at the end of the day, I need X amount of calories, X amount of protein and carbs, but I happen to also love the taste of food. There are other ways to eat that, you know, you may agree with or might not. Some people eat to cope. Some people eat to escape. There's so many different reasons. Boredom. Yeah, some people eat for no reason. There's a lot of different reasons, and hopefully, my opinion is that people should push towards nourish and, let's just say, enjoyment, because at the end of the day, food is amazing. You can have so many different experiences with food. It's almost symbolic, right? Think of this is not food, but alcohol. When you cheers, that's symbolic of this is an accomplishment. This is a celebration. It's deeper than just this is something that's going to make me drunk.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that could be attributed to food and drink that I think adds a little bit of spice and spark and enjoyment to life. But at the same time, I would hope that people eat to nourish as well.
But there's times where when I'm stressed or when I'm going through a really tough time, it's like eating's not the first thing I want to do. You know, it's like I don't want to eat for enjoyment at this moment. It's like just even hard to get around to eating. You know, so I feel like a lot of people deal with that too in different situations. You know, it's harder than just say eat for enjoyment, because some people are just like have tough times with doing that, especially in their moments in their life. You know. So
I eat a lot of food. I eat a shit ton of food. There are times when,
so much food.
I eat a lot and I sleep a lot. There are times when I actually don't want food either. Usually though, it's when I'm so busy that I'm like, you know what, I just need to do work. I need to go there. I need to do this. I don't have time. I'd rather just meal prep. But I get that too, because it's, you know, if you're going through career change, you're moving, breakup, whatever, food just doesn't seem
at the forefront
appealing to you.
Yeah,
it's not. Sure. It's I don't want to eat right now. Like I can't even think about that. I
or even stomach. Sometimes your stomach just doesn't want anything. You know, just can't accept anything.
Yeah, I hope at that point, you know, maybe you're not enjoying it as much, but you could say, I still need to nourish myself. I still have to take care of myself. Yeah. Let's give myself X amount of nutrients.
The bare minimum kind of thing. Just like make sure you're getting something in for sure.
Yeah, hard to do though. It's not easy. A lot of people's relationships with food is damaged in a word.
For sure.
So let's go on. Sorry.
Especially specific foods. Like people have one time they eat bad grapes and it's like I can never look at grapes again. You know. You ever heard people about that?
You just get a bag of grapes. Turns out it's olives. You're just never eating grapes again.
Exactly. Ever. Or like you just like got drunk after this bowl of pasta and then you threw up the pasta out and then you're like, I can never eat pasta again because all I think about is that one time. I was going to mention earlier, there's a friend of mine, Josh, we had this conversation about food recently, and it was like very, very polarizing, where it's like I like to cook and I like to make my meals large and extravagant, where he was just like, I eat for utility.
Utility. So he's like, I live I eat to live type of
Exactly.
guy.
He
Like I have to eat, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, he puts a little spice on chicken and then chicken breasts or thighs and then potatoes and carrots and just throws it in the oven and then takes that out and he eats that. That's his meal, you know, and like that's his day-to-day meal for when he's at school 5 times a week. That's his meal.
You know who has a similar view and approach to food is bodybuilders, because they are so focused on sculpting their body, building their body. They in a sense it's a mix of eating to nourish and eating to live, because they know I need 100 grams of protein right now. I need this many carbs right now to build up my body. I wouldn't say that they're not enjoying it, but it's almost transactional. It's I need
like
this, so I'm gonna eat it.
The food that you need for that kind of thing, you know. Which like you need food with more proteins, so it's like sometimes those can be less flavorful, you know. So it's like you have to shape your meals and what you're eating, which could like suffice or could damage the taste realistically, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, bodybuilders again, how many times have you heard of I need to eat brown rice, chicken, and broccoli?
Just chicken
They
breast.
could eat that
like,
every day for the rest of their lives, because they just know I
couldn't.
need this for that. And I guess Josh could be somewhat similar to that. You know, he adds some spice. I'm sure they do too, the bodybuilders. But it's I need this, so I'm gonna eat it now. I don't necessarily care to eat it, but
to each his own. It's a whole different way of living too. Could you see yourself ever doing that?
I'm sure he's got a lot of different. He puts a lot of different energy and has a lot of different passions for other things.
For sure, and eating is just helping him fuel himself to use his brain for what he needs to do. You know,
respect that.
Which is cool, but there's to each his own. But for me, it's like I want to eat to enjoy it, like you said. You know, like if I'm gonna eat something good, I'm like, yo, this feels good. You know, I'm eating something good right now.
Yeah, I feel so good.
Could you ever see yourself eating for utility?
In a sense, I partly do, because I think about how many carbs, how many protein grams I need per day to sustain my physical activity, sustaining my muscle mass. So in a sense, I do think about that. I also, in the moment while I'm thinking about that and eating, I say to myself, I do enjoy this food, and I'm really happy that I get to eat.
Is there moments where you don't enjoy the food and you're like, I just still have to just stomach this down and go?
Not really.
Okay, that's good.
No, I'm not a food critic. My friend used to grill me about this, because we've worked in the restaurant industry. You develop a palate for food. You can distinguish different flavors and, you know, why this spice goes with it and this one doesn't.
Yeah.
For me, anytime anyone cooks for me, anytime I cook anything, even if it's plain and bland, I say, this tastes really good.
Wow.
Every time.
I cooked you the craziest chicken 2 days ago. Bringing the chicken, I was loving the chicken. The chicken was so good. Zucchini.
Mitch makes amazing chicken. No, I want to make. I think about that almost every day now.
Like, this is really good.
No, it's really good. No, it is. Your chicken is very good. I'm just saying, like a brown rice chicken breast broccoli with like pepper and salt.
Will still be good
I would
for
still
you.
say, wow, this is really good.
Because food is good.
But the thing is that I have the ability to distinguish between different flavors and what would go better and how to make it better.
So wouldn't you want to use that ability to its fullest?
That's what my friend was saying, and I do, but time and place. There are times when I want to go in on cooking, add different spices, try something new, make a au jus sauce, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then there are times when I just want to eat because I want to eat, and then I want to go into the next thing, but I can still enjoy it in that moment. I just don't have to put all the bells and whistles and all the different frying cooking techniques.
Cool. Yeah, I was watching a YouTube video on how to make a hot sauce, and there was this comment on the video, and it was like, this is the difference between a chef and a cook, where it's like a cook just cooks the food,
okay,
and then makes it how it is, but a chef is like one to use the hot sauce or whatever they found as like a new spice and like implement it into different
almost creatively. How can I make this incorporate this into my meal?
So the video was like him making the hot sauce, and he was like, this is a sick meal that I made with it, and it's like, that's sick, you know
what that makes you think of? Like MasterChef, you know, when they say, guys, the food of this meal is eggplant. You have to do something with the eggplant. You only have these many different ingredients. I think that's really cool. That's hard though. That's a lot of pressure being on MasterChef. Imagine.
For sure, but you're not. So it's like you just if you see an eggplant, you're like, I don't have a pressure. I don't have time limit to make this meal. I can figure out something for the eggplant. You know?
Every time you step into the kitchen, oh god,
MasterChef,
flashbacks. Your lobes start throbbing. Also, I wanted to point out, you're talking much slower, calmer. It's very understandable.
Also, just woke up, so. I woke up and then you're like, I'm here, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we had a late night.
If this was later in the day, it'd be a quicker fire off.
Yeah,
but
maybe we can get there one time. Maybe if you want to talk faster later.
No.
Are you a summer or winter guy? I guess you could be fall or spring, but
I don't know anymore, dude. It's all changed.
what do you mean you don't know?
I'm trying to figure it out. I was thinking
Don't
about
tell me you're a winter person. Don't do that to me.
Yeah, I know. I don't like the cold. I used to love the cold. I think I used to be more of a winter person.
As a kid, or like high school?
Both.
Really?
I think I was a winter when I was doing more winter activities like snowboarding and just like being able to having the free time to be outside in the winter. I'm like not have to worry.
There's no free time.
There's no free time ever. So it's like definitely the summer. And I don't know, cold. It's been getting me hard these days, you know?
Yeah, I can stomach a good amount of cold. I actually bought this Canada Goose jacket. It's the warmest one they have. It literally feels like a sleeping bag. It's amazing.
With the fur?
No fur.
Good.
No fur. And obviously some people don't like Canada Goose. That's fine. I've wanted one for a long time. I know the ethical stuff behind it. I still want one. So don't grill me.
You do your thing,
But
man.
when I put on the hood, it has a latch that makes the hood extend out to here, so I'm looking almost like through a submarine. I don't feel cold at all.
Wow.
It is amazing. And so now
Arctic.
I can enjoy being outside, but I still would rather just throw on some sandals, my shorts. I love being, you know what I thought I wasn't going to go here. I'm a summer guy, obviously, I guess. I realized the other day I was walking down outside of my house and I was just wearing shorts and my sandals, and I thought to myself, I feel so much happier and better about myself with less clothing on.
100%.
Oh, you too?
100%.
Oh, nice. So we're summer dudes.
Yeah. And I saw this photo of my father and he was, I think I
My
showed
father. When do you ever say father?
I always say father and
really?
mother. Yeah,
I always say dad.
Really?
Dad.
So I saw this photo of my father. And it was like him on the beach in Portugal. I think, did I show you this?
I don't think so.
So it's him on the beach in Portugal and he's like just wearing a jacket in like the summer. And I was like,
oh,
I'm starting to kind of feel that, you know? Like if it was a windy day, like I'm probably going to put a jacket on the beach.
You know what though? If I go to the beach on a hot day, it could be 27 degrees Celsius. I wouldn't mind wearing a long sleeve. Think about the sun protection. It also cools you down a little bit. Think about when you're hot, you throw a towel over your head.
Yeah.
It just absorbs it reflects it. It's a good way to cool down.
You're
actually.
right, 100%. Yeah.
But you
It's
don't think about that in the moment.
Your skin is not emitting the heat too.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely not thinking about that in the moment. But it was like a windy day for my dad, and it was like my father. It was like a windy day, and it was just like he put a jacket on, and I was like, I respect that.
Mitchell's fashion.
Bring a jacket. Moral of the story is bring a jacket if you want to bring a jacket, but you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You can do whatever, wear a jacket or not. It's all the same.
You could wear a goose if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Probably shouldn't.
A live goose.
It's just like sitting, nesting on your head. Speaking of your dad, Mitch's dad looks like Snoop Dogg.
Very much so.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? Anyways, that's
Call him Snoop Dad.
Snoop Dad. There was a time, maybe a few days ago, where I looked at you and I was like, "Oh my god, I see your dad in
For
you."
sure.
Oh, you agree?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
I've been
nice.
getting that a lot recently, especially like a lot of family members in Portugal. Like, you look like your father. Like, thank you.
I am my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you know, like, that's your dad. You know. No way around that one.
I've been catching myself lately, and there's a lot of mannerisms that it will stop and say, "Oh shoot, my dad does that."
Yeah, I feel the exact same way sometimes. It's not a bad thing, but it's like you just acknowledge it. Do you notice that? Are they like taught?
No, not at all. It's the
So
way.
it's just pure natural.
Yeah, natural. It's a laugh. It's how we answer the phone. Hello. My dad does that. My dad does. Hello. He's my
definitely
dad.
see your dad
Dude, my
doing
dad
that,
is always yelling into the phone.
Really?
Especially when it goes into a Bluetooth in his car. He's just fucking yelling. Like, I'll be like, I'll call him. I'll hear, hello. I'm like, and then I start yelling, Dad. What's up? Nothing much, just driving to work. What about you? He's friggin' yelling. I'm like, oh my god. And then, but I'm yelling too. And then I have to bring it down. Like, you know what? Okay, don't yell.
Will you still yell?
Dad, hi. Stop yelling, please. So the way we answer the phone, the laugh, and you know what too? The way, so I'm quite goofy at certain times. I see my goofiness or his goofiness in me.
Like the way you tell jokes and the way you...
Not really the way I tell jokes. A little bit. More so the way I react to like being giddy and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I notice the same. Like I'm always doing things that my father does without, like you said, without being taught. I guess it's just who we are, is to replicate that situation. But I have the same often. I'm always like, wow. I'll text my sister, I'll be like, yo, guess what I just did? Like, I'd pull the dad, like,
I wore a jacket to the beach.
Nice.
I changed my name to Michael.
I'm Snoop Dad.
Yeah. It's funny. Isn't it crazy how children just adopt these mannerisms that seemingly you would think, like, how does that, they're miniature copies of each other, just the same laugh,
It's hard to understand if it's taught or if it's like natural, because the only way you would notice these mannerisms is if you've seen them firsthand.
It's definitely taught, passively, indirectly, like nature versus nurture. It's definitely nurture. Because think about how, like, when you're a child, you're a sponge, right?
Yeah.
Think of if your parents are going through a really happy period and they always say woohoo when you're like 1 to 5 years old, you're probably gonna grow up and say woohoo, and you're not gonna know where
my parents
from.
are Mario and Luigi.
Let's go. It's like, dad, you're Chinese, stop it. And he stubs his toe. He's eating ice cream. like
Yoshi.
He gets angry, starts shooting fireballs at turtles.
Oh shit. What were we talking about?
I don't know, mannerisms being taught.
Oh yeah. But some of them are just like, why would I don't know. Like, this is such a random situation, but it's the only one that's coming to my head, where it was like, there's one moment, my dad used to do this thing all the time. Whenever we'd wake him up in the middle of the night, like being loud, or just like me and my sister hanging out, he'd come and then he'd come in the room and he'd like squint and like scratch his rib. and then like he'd always just look at us like angry and like scratching his ribs for some reason, or like scratching his back. And then he'd just like, go to bed, guys. And then we'd shut up and go to bed or some shit. But like, remember, it was like last month. I don't know what I was doing, but like I woke up in the middle of the night and like there's a sound and I was like just sitting there, I was like this, and I was like, why am I doing that, and I texted my sister and I was like, yo, but that's something that's like not taught, like there's no way I saw my dad scratching himself that one day when he told us to go to bed, and I'm like, that's something I need to learn to do.
I think a lot of dads scratch their ribs. Mine does it not quite like this. He does more kind of like this, and like,
but it's like in this specific situation of being like woken up in the middle of the night, like just with the squinty eyes and the scratching. It was so in the exact same line as what I saw that one day, and it was like, why'd I do that? But is that nurture or nature?
I think it's nurture
as well.
Yeah, because like, if your dad always scratched his ankle instead, you might do that too. I don't know. Maybe men have scratchy ribs, itchy ribs all the time.
Maybe we should do a study on it. Tune in next week. We'll do some research and give you the facts.
We'll get back to you guys again on that.
So you think that? But I feel like for nurture, it's like things that I guess you can't choose what you get nurtured, right? I feel like it should be things that are.
It's heavily your parents, your peers.
It doesn't necessarily have to be constructive either, right?
It could be bad.
Yeah.
For example, okay, this is a little deep, but if your dad or mom abuses one another, you could unconsciously think that that's okay growing up. Not literally when people tell you, hey, is hitting someone okay? But in the moment, if I grew up to be, 25, 30, and I'm with my partner and we get into an argument, maybe I would hit that person because I've seen that in my childhood and I think that's okay. This has been done before. If you had asked me explicitly, hey Marc, is hitting your partner okay? You'd probably say no. But in the moment you might do it. Yeah, and it's things like that.
So how do you break free from that curse? If the things that you learned,
dude, it could go either way. Think about it. If your parents hit each other, you could say, I'm never going to hit my partner because I do not want to repeat or become my parents. Or you could go the other way where it's, hitting them is okay. You don't think about it. You just do it. And it's unconsciously from your childhood.
There definitely is moments where I see my parents do things, I'm like, never doing that. Or like my grandma, I'm just like, no. Like, I will 100% learn to always do the opposite of that, because I believe that one view is the right view, So it definitely goes both ways. But then at the same time, there might be things that I'm subconsciously doing that I've learned from them.
I was going to say, be careful that you don't fall into a self-defeating prophecy. I've done that many times, not with things from my parents, but just, so I would say, or I would observe someone and I would say to myself, I don't like that they did this. I'm not going to do that.
And like actively do it?
Actively, yeah. I'm actively going to try not to do this one thing. Later on, I'll catch myself. I somehow, the cards ended up in favor of doing that thing, and I didn't realize it until I'm doing it. I'm like, oh shoot, I just did the thing that I said I don't want to do.
Interesting.
Yeah, it happens not often, but be mindful of the fact that
It could happen.
Think about
Things could happen.
Think about those like stories where there's a hero and the villain, and the villain's like, this child is going to grow up to be the one that overtakes me. I need to make sure he doesn't grow up or kill him or whatever. And in doing those things, it ends up making that kid stronger and grows up to be the one that defeats him. It's like a self-defeating prophecy.
Wow,
yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
fucking sick.
Terrible description of what a self-fulfilling prophecy is.
That's amazing. I don't know. That was a good reference.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So here's a quick life lesson. Speaking of things that you see in other people that you don't want to do, this is a lesson that I've learned that has been true for me forever, and I think about it all the time. So there's this idea that the things you see in other people that you don't like are the things that you don't like about yourself.
For sure, because you wouldn't notice them as the things you don't like if they weren't something you didn't like in yourself.
Honestly,
you know what I'm saying?
I did not follow what you just said, but yes.
Do you want me to try and explain it again?
Sure.
You wouldn't notice the things that you don't like in that person if you didn't understand it within yourself, you know?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to subconsciously I know that I don't like that I try to lecture people. So when I see other people lecturing others,
You're like, I know that I don't want to do that.
But you don't say that to yourself. I think you just say to yourself, oh, that guy Mitch, oh, he's so annoying. He always lectures people. But every time, if I were to say that to myself, I would eventually, a day or two later, I would say to myself, oh shoot, I just lectured someone. I am that person that I don't like.
And that's why you most likely don't like that one person, because you notice that you don't like it within yourself, you know?
Yeah. I think it'd be good to get to a place where things don't bother you from other people.
Yeah.
Obviously there's exceptions, because that would, probably indicate that you are in a place where you do like the majority of yourself. And there's a lot of things that you cognitive dissonance, you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know, cognitive dissonance is kind of when you see yourself a certain way, but you act in a different way, and then you have an internal conflict and you're stressed. You're like, oh, why did I do that? And you get upset. That's kind of what cognitive dissonance is. I think getting to a place where you don't dislike things in other people
is when you can start loving yourself.
Can say, I'm aligned with who I think I am internally and externally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But every time someone says, oh, that person's so annoying, I hate that they do this, I just think to myself, you probably do the same thing.
Yeah. Or either that or it's like I think like they're not comfortable with themselves, you know?
Yeah, I mean, insecurities are huge. Dude, I'm sure both of us have a handful of insecurities, just like everybody else. And
Your earlobes.
My earlobes, oh, I hate that they're so flammable. Everyone has insecurities, and it's, what's crazy? This is so cliche, but it's so true. The people that you think do not have insecurities because they're so hot, they're so fit, they're so glamorized, famous, they have some of the biggest insecurities. And it's because of the thing that they're known for, that they're famous for, their most prominent feature. Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. It's like you would think that
this person,
the swimsuit girl who has an amazing body, is on the cover of whatever
loves
magazine,
her body and
loves her body,
it
treats her well, healthy. And I can't say this for every girl, but there are a lot of times where that girl is, somewhat starving herself, or is bulimic, or
doesn't like
hates
herself,
her body,
hates herself image,
is never skinny enough. It's so common, and it's sad, not in a pitiful way on the person, but it's sad that that's what happens when people are known for something good, or seemingly good, societally good. Next time, let's talk about, for something to look forward to. What was that?
I was gonna speak, but then you like just cut me in. I was gonna say how. So I was like,
I thought you were making a ghost impression.
No, I was like, how? I was like leading into the word how, and then you like said something. So I was like, okay, I take it back.
All right, next week we're gonna talk about how to love yourself, how to love yourself through these insecurities, and things that we've done that we think would help you. Stop that.
I'm not doing anything anymore.
I know. Okay. That was a delayed response.
Okay.
I was processing it.
But just looking at you, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Okay, next week we'll go over that, and we'll talk about the ways we've dealt with
our insecurities.
And how we battled them.
And you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, not all of them were actively me trying to. It's just this one random incident with this person, and next thing I knew, I loved my insecurity.
And we were on the moon.
So get excited.
Until next week,
Why
guys.
are we on the moon?
Because you're having such a good time.
The moon's made of cheese.
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
I am. Let's go eat. Okay, we're gonna eat.
I'm hungry. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
We'll call it here.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Peace.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
There's another podcast that uses a TV and they write down so they can just look at it.
We have a TV. We have 2-3 TVs here.
Okay,
We can do that for sure.
Next time.
I don't know how to do that though. We need a second laptop then.
Maybe I'll have to get one.
Another laptop.
Yeah.